done with casting pearls amongst the swine. 'Cause each of us is running out of time. It's already started silent, you won't hear a chime. You'll be measured and punished for each heavenly crime.
Good evening and welcome to the Belfast Bapcast. So I just wanted to expand on one of the topics from last night. So I want to talk about something that most men avoid until it's too late, and it's not because they're cowards, but because nobody ever taught them a language for their own pain. So men implode quietly, they do so efficiently, and they do it like it's a duty. And if everything I've lived through, the addiction, the violence, the self-destruction, the near deaths, help even one young man open his mouth before he opens his veins, then every scar on my body has purpose. Young male suicide isn't a statistic, it's an epidemic nobody touches unless it fattens a headline. But I know it. I know that silence. I've lived inside it. And when boys grow up with no map, no guidance, no emotional vocabulary, they don't ask for help. They simply decide their absence is easier than their presence. That's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Modern men are starving for things that society has ripped away from them, and that is containment when needed, confrontation when required, calmness under pressure, fire when necessary, a standard to aim at, and someone who won't bullshit them. Most of the messages men hear today are either you're dangerous or you're useless, and both of those messages are responsible for death. But let me take you deeper than commentary or statistics and get real. I want to talk about God in the rearview mirror, because I didn't find God looking forward or by living well or by seeking truth. I found them by looking back at the wreckage of my life and realizing I shouldn't be here. When I look over my shoulder now with a clean mind and spiritual distance, I see a pattern so obvious it's embarrassing that I actually ever thought that I had control. I should have died 10 different ways. I should have overdosed. I should have been fatally stabbed one time. Should have been jailed for longer. Should have been killed by the lifestyle that I worshipped. There were nights that the devil himself would have closed the door on me. But somehow I kept waking up. And that wasn't coincidence, nor was it luck. That was God dragging me through hell by the scruff of my neck, because I was too stubborn to walk out of it myself. Most people meet God in church. I met him in the consequences of my own stupidity. But every time I've been wiped out, he was there. Every time I should have been killed, he was there. Not in front of me, but guiding gently behind me, cleaning up the destruction so I could live long enough to learn. That's why my faith isn't soft. It's not candles. It's not choirs, and it's not affirmations. My faith is scars. My faith is police lights. My faith is vomit on the floor. My faith is waking up in places that most men don't walk out of, to be honest. And my faith is knowing that God preserved me long enough, long before I ever acknowledged him. And once you've seen God in the rear view mirror, you fear nothing in the windscreen. And I'll be brutally honest, I still struggle and I still slip. And some days I'm carved from granite and everything's fine. And other days the old demons come knocking at the door. But here's the difference. I don't mistake a blip for a collapse now. I don't treat a stumble like a journey has been reset. A slip is a crack in the road and not the grave I used to dig for myself. I get back up, I redirect, I choose God over the ghost of who I used to be. Recovery is not perfection, it's direction. Redemption is not a movement, it's a rhythm. And every time you stand back up, even if limping, that's a victory. So people ask why young men are flocking to people like Andrew Tate. Um, it's not the watches, it's not the Lamborghinis or the Dubai skyline. It's because young men are starving for father figures. A voice that doesn't apologize for existing, a voice that doesn't whisper when it should roar, a voice that is through darkness and returned with a message. But here's where I split from that world. I am not looking for followers. I want men to stand on their own 2 feet. And friend or enemy, if you ever needed my help, I would walk through fire for you. People out there think I'm intimidating. The truth of the matter is I'm an insecure bastard who has built armor to protect a wound carved long before I could speak, and my shell is compensation for a crater left by abandonment. But God didn't drag me out of that darkness so I could whisper in the light. So one thing I would say to men out there is be present at home. Stop chasing the big cinematic moments while the sacred small ones pass you by unnoticed. Fulfillment is earned through hardship. Purpose is forged in the ugly places. Men who survive storms didn't come out polished. They come out useful. If even one young man hears this and chooses to articulate instead of annihilate, that's enough. If you're listening, thinking you're done, you're finished, you're broken, you're beyond repair, let me say one thing in authority. You're not the disruption, you're the correction. If you were meant to die, you'd be dead. If you were meant to fold, you would have folded. And if you were meant to vanish, you would not be hearing this. You're here for a bigger reason than your wounds. God didn't pressure you or preserve you to watch you repeat your past. He preserved you to confront the world as only a sinner can. And if you feel alone, listen carefully. If you feel like you have nobody, and if you are ready for change, and if you feel like God is inaccessible, silent, or too far away, He isn't. God is closest to men who feel unworthy of Him. He hears you even when you don't know how to speak. And if you're sitting thinking, oh, I don't know who to talk to, I don't know where to start, then start here. Just send me an email, the thebelfastbapcast at gmail.com. Asking for help isn't weakness, and sometimes the first step into greatness, the first step into the man your trauma has been forging in fire. Reach out, speak up, tell someone, just anyone. Don't carry it alone another night, because if He carried me through hell to build this platform, He can carry you through tonight. So keep going, even if you're limping.
Furthest into the world have been debauchery, iniquity was all I seen. The pleasure dome of dopamine is fleeting and devoid. Why we call it mental health and addiction just to avoid. That is the consequence of sin, and their warnings to draw near to that place that is filled with uncertainty. But with Him you lose all fear. Only in the looking back at life are you able to discern that you were being crafted through every little concern. Forging trials attack because you had a role, constant fight for your soul. We choose the easy path because the thought of actual sacrifice makes us accept the false doctrines presented because it fits nice. It doesn't challenge your behaviors or teach you what is right. It divides you with theology and confusion. So all we do is fight, only in the looking back at life. Are you able to discern that you were being crafted through every little concern? Forged in trials, attacked because you had a role. And this is why there has been a constant fight for your soul. But as we are in the age of information, makes ignorance a claim of retardation. There is a war that is not of the physical dimension. Just no faith minus works will lead to spiritual annihilation. Only in the looking back at life are you able to discern you were being crafted through every little concern. Forged in trials, attacked because you had a role. And this is why there has been a constant fight for your soul.